redefine your successes and what you could achieve in this world going forward. We had spoken about 90-day plans, a 90-day plan going in and a 90-day plan going out of the lockdown. And we'll talk about more of it as we go ahead. But it is a changed environment. It is an environment where there is no old way of doing things. There is no going back to the old ways. It is all about doing things in an absolute new way. Some things that we have disregarded and taken for granted in the past have to be thought through now. Something that we failed to do now has to be done. Something that was probably absolutely simple has now to be thought through differently. So let me give you a quick background about me and Action Coach before we jump into what are those 9 things that can be done by business owners or should be done by business owners as we step into this new real normal. And ultimately, the reopening of the business will all be very, very tough compared to what it was shutting down. So quickly about me before we jump into the content, and over the next 90 minutes, I would request all of you to please keep a pen and paper handy. Keep writing your questions. And as we come to the end of the session, I will tell you how Action Coach can help you, and also answer all your questions. While we have planned for a 2-hour session, the content is for 90 minutes. And post that, I'm happy addressing anything that you want. And I'll be here till the last question has been answered. And that's a commitment from my end. And I promise you that today, this 90 minutes will be a real eye-opener. So let's look at myself, Malloy Chakravarti, running 4 businesses currently. After 25 years in industry, worked across geographies, worked across organizations, leadership roles, finally decided it's time to be on my own. So started off with Beyond Red Ocean Consulting. Coaching is my forte, and started with life and executive coaching. Post that, tied up with Action Coach as a franchise partner, and I implement the Action Coach training systems, coaching systems for businesses in Mumbai and elsewhere in India. Have 3 other businesses going, and like I said, this table has been converted into my home office. It's totally virtual world. So we have an infection control company that operates from Mumbai, launching innovative solutions in indoor air management and infection control. So that is operating. Currently, the manufacturing is going on in Baddi, where we have a third-party arrangement. So the manufacturing of our products have restarted, and the next lot of the product is expected in beginning of June. I have a executive search company called Hired Desk, where I'm not totally involved, yes, but a great partner of mine, she drives this entire business. We're still looking at the recruitment piece. The entire recruitment and hiring landscape has changed. So people are approaching us with different kinds of mandates, and we're addressing them, all working from home, the team working from home, my partner working from home, and I'm working from here. And we have a cloud kitchen called Pet Bhore. It's a Bengali concept of taking Bengali cuisine into people who don't have the wherewithal to cook. So the cloud kitchens are on. The delivery boys are delivering it, but most of it is in the takeaway format. And I've been teaching for the last 19 years across B schools in Mumbai, Delhi, Dubai, and Singapore. Teaching is continuing. Again, the entire model has changed. Earlier, it was face-to-face classroom teaching, and I used to go to the campuses. But over the last two months, it is all teaching on Zoom. So work has been great for me. Businesses have been good. Yes, we are bringing in those transformation areas as well, where we want to address. And as far as Action Coach is concerned, whom I on who are the champions of business coaching in the country, in the world. So it's the #1 business coaching firm. So we set up in globally in 1994. That's about 26 years back. Today there are 1,000 coaching offices across the world in 76 countries. Brad Sugars, you can type Brad Sugars on YouTube and you'll get a lot of his videos. We coach about 15,000 businesses, all in the SME and the MSME sector each week across all geographies. And we have about 20 odd coaches currently in India who are helping business owners coming out of this difficult times, right? And planning to take them to the next level. Because what we want people to think is, and what we want the mindset to happen is that what we have left behind in February 2020 should be nowhere in comparison to what we can achieve by the end of this calendar year in 2020. Because the world is going to give us large opportunities. Our mindsets have to change. Our pivoting has to happen. We need to look around and see, if my current business is not doing well, where can I shift my focus? What are the things that I need to do? And take the business forward. Because I can assure you, and it's a promise, that if you change your mindset, there's nothing that you can't achieve by end of this calendar year, and significantly larger in the end of this fiscal year. Yes, current times are difficult, but people who have invested in themselves, on the various programs that we have run, on how to create 90-day plans, how to create the plan for survival, and the plan for revival, and the plan for growth. People who have followed that will really bear the fruits once the business reopens. So what are those 9 things? Let's start. Let's hit the ground running. The first thing is, we need to re-educate and prepare ourselves. And like Edison had said, unfortunately, there seems to be too much more opportunity than ability. Too much more opportunity than ability. We should all remember that good fortune often happens when good fortune meets with preparation. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because this is something that we need to do on a regular basis. But the first thing is, we all need to understand what are the local rules of the game, whichever geography, whichever part of India we are operating from, and some from outside India, whichever part of India we are operating from, what are those local rules for the game? We need to relook at our entire business with a certain degree of common sense. And while it is said that common sense is very uncommon, but when you sit down to plan, you have to now visually walk through the entire employee and the customer experience. Walk through that employee coming into your workplace. What are those things that you will have to take care of? That employee who's really going to give his all, coming into the workplace, what is it that he will encounter? Things that were taken for granted has to be now looked at. Whether it's that 6-foot distance, whether it's a distance between cubicles, anything, whether it's a simple marking that what are the 6 foot. Cleaning has to become part of your normal daily course. There's no way we cannot clean, and there is no way that we cannot be seen as not cleaning continuously. There has to be an evidence. Barriers have to be created. How do you get the PPE equipments in place? Because there will be so many people coming into the workplace. How do you get those PPE instruments in place? Because feeling safe is going to be a large part of this game. It is no longer you doing the cleaning and you believing that you have cleaned the place and disinfected the place, but The point is people are people seeing it? People should feel, both whether it is your employees or whether it is your customers, people should feel that as a business owner, you care. And the interesting part is that we do not know what is going to happen next week. Today, airlines have started, and we have been getting all those visuals about so many people in the aircraft having all those PPE and so on and so forth. The point is, we need to bring in flexibility in our working style. And as a business owner, and I keep on saying this in all my events and all my forum, that a business owner is first a salesperson. And if a business owner is first a salesperson are those only people on this planet who should be continuously realigning their way of working to the external audience. Today we are in a situation that we do not know what is next week going to bring forth. We do not know what are the new regulations that will be brought in next week. What will be the new relaxations that will be brought next week? We have to ensure that we keep flexibility as top of our agenda. This is the absolute essence of this entire way the business is going to run. Because end of the day, like it or not, business happens or not, we all need to live. And it is our responsibility as a business owner to take care of ourselves, our families, and our employees, and our customers. Because fear and worry is going to be there in the air for quite some time. People who come out and start buying from you immediately are those people who have the least amount of fear, but they still have fear. People who are coming and joining you in your workplace will come out of necessity. They have a family to run, but they all will come out of fear. So how do we give them that confidence that we care, that as an employer, we care about you more than us? Yes, we want our businesses to run, and there is a selfish reason on that, but how do we ensure that our care comes out? And care not comes out as a superficial, but care comes out as a real thing. That ability to disinfect, creating barriers, simple markers, everything that we are doing in our workplace has to be very, very, very different than what we have and what we have done in the past. So it is first our re-education and our preparation which will take us to the next level. And that is, how do you start rebuilding your team? Please understand, your team is going to come to meet you at your workplace with the thought in mind and with the baggage that they're carrying from their homes, that they will be interacting with a lot of people, both in terms of in the transportation and in the workplace. So they'll be meeting customers, they'll be meeting co-employees, they'll be meeting the housekeeping staff, they'll be meeting everybody. The team has to be given that confidence. We don't want to land up in any legal issues in the future. So all that you are doing is to ensure that the safeguards are being created. And for that, you need to be communicating with your team on a regular basis. It is no point just doing things. It also means that there has to be some level of communication that goes on, that the bringing in them, their inclusiveness. This is the team, this is your A team who's coming to join you first. This is the team which will take you to the area or place where you want to go. Because also virtual office is here to stay. We must realize that. Twitter last week made a comment or made a statement that they're open to giving opportunities to everyone to permanently work from home, as long as the productivity happens. So now but we also need to work from the plan of working from that virtual office. The Twitter model may not work for all of us. We still need our people in the workplace. If it means moving into a smaller office, so be it. Till about a year back, we were all talking in terms of open areas and open offices. But suddenly that is a thing of the past. Now you have to go back and rebuild cubicles. You have to create barriers between your the employees who are sitting across. We have to look at flexible working. We'll probably have to work in shifts, things that we had not planned in the past. Earlier, probably our entire workforce were working on a fixed time, especially offices. But we now need to plan that, do we need shifts? Or are we getting into rotational, that every day 1/3 of the employee would come to the workplace? How do you keep them motivated? Because they'll be at a distance. How do you ensure that the productivity is high? Because now productivity will take time to pick up. As people come into your workplace, the productivity will go down, significantly down. You had high level of productivity in the month of January when we were all gung-ho about the business. February was good. March, you had the scare of Corona. We all had that scare of Corona. People moved into their home offices. As people moved into their home offices, we had the acclimatization to be done. We had to break our day between work from home, work in home, and my me time / I time, because we need to bring in that. There was a huge amount of mental health challenges that have come up. Small houses, especially in metros, all the family members together. Connectivity was a challenge. Infrastructure was a challenge. House help's not there. So your productivity went down. But in the next couple of weeks, by end of April, people were able to set some sort of calendar for themselves, and productivity started picking up. And now probably we are at that 60-70% productivity for most of our organizations. That's our experience. In all our businesses, we are at that 60-70% of productivity with our employees. Because now we know exactly when are we scheduling whatever we are scheduling. But come June, maybe 1st June, maybe always also today, a lot of organizations, a lot of factories have started working now. But as we start coming back into the workplace, it's a different environment altogether. This is an environment that we have not seen. Now we are first worried, where will we sit? What is the hand wash like? What is the touch space like? When do we go to eat? What are the barriers between people? Are we maintaining that 6 foot between each other? When do we go to the toilet? What are the toilet sizes? Earlier we used, especially men's toilet, you used to go to the urinal, 3-4 people standing next to each other. That will no longer happen. It will take time. So productivity will take a huge dip as soon as people start coming back into your workplace. And as a business owner, you have to appreciate that there will be a drop in productivity. We are now looking at how do we increase that productivity. As a business owner, you have to look at how do we increase that productivity. You have to now look at every individual in this organization as a new employee. Everyone. It is going back to those days when you're starting your organization and you're hiring fresh set of people. That day when the business started up. But the only difference between there is you're not so concerned between the safety and the health issues that you're now currently associating yourselves with. So as a business owner, psychology has to play a big role. You have to manage the psychology of your team. And psychology will become an integral part of your job as a business owner to ensure that everyone in the organization first feels safe, secure, and how do you then bump up the productivity? Now, this may also entail a lot of training. People need to be retrained. People have to be retrained in the new way of doing things. So you need to budget in, and budget both from a time as well as money aspect about retraining employees in your organization. So all those things have to be clearly thought through. And I hope you guys have been able to think through those things or started doing those things right now, because this was the preparation time, that what happens when we start our organization. We have to start sprinting as quickly as possible. So once your team has now been able to settle down for a while, and you have taken care of all those hygiene issues, or all the infrastructure issues, now things start getting slightly more interesting. Now comes the fun part, because you also need to announce to the world that we have survived. This is a celebration of survival. Right? So now I need to look at, how do I bring in my customers? How do I bring in my customers? Who is my target audience? Has my target audience changed? Or is it the same? How do you bring in some deals for them? Not discounts, please mind it. We are not going to use the word discounts. We are trying to bring in deals out here. Can we do curated programs for them, like what Action Coach does? Or can we get into buy two, get one free? Or can we do something extremely different, that on behalf of the customer, we donate to charity, and the customer gets the advantage of that. The customer gets credit for that. Our team is in place. Now we need to bring in our customers. Who is our top 20% of our customers? Look at your database. And I hope your database has been updated. If you have not done the analysis of your 20 and 80% customers, good time to restart today, because I need to figure out who are my top 20% customers. And how do I reach out to them? And with what do I reach out to them? How do I make them feel special? How do I go and celebrate with them that we have all survived, and we thank them and say, thank you, Mr. Customer, for staying with us. We need to make them feel very, very special. What can we do for them? Next 1 month, month of June, what can we do for them? How do we bring them back? Because they are also, make no mistake, they are also looking for your products. But they also have a couple of other options. And they are also people who have also going through that same fear factor. They have also seen extremely troubled times. In most cases, your customers, your top 20% of your customers, are business owners themselves, who were left alone to fend for themselves. They're not part of large corporates where people have been taking care of them. So how do you look at giving them the importance, and how do you bring them back? Again, make no mistake that while people want to start business, they're not in a great deal of rush to come and spend money. That fear and worry is still there. Now, in the midst of this fear and worry, in the midst of people not wanting to spend too much money, I have to put my hands into my customers' pockets and take money, and obviously give them value. I'm not saying we're doing free. We are not doing anything free, and we are not fleecing our customers. But I need to take money. Of those first top 20% of your customers, who are those early movers? Who are those first responders to your emails and to your communications? Yes, certainly. Please hold on to your question, and I'll address them at the end of the day. Please keep on typing your questions. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll certainly address them at the end of the session. And I'm not sure when you joined in, but I said that I've made a commitment to all of you that I'll be there till the last question has been answered. How do I get those first responders and give them a great deal of importance? What are we going to do then for them? Also remember, there is a situation where not all your competitors would have survived the way you have survived. So there could be some customers who were not yours, who were somebody else's, but they have no buyer, no suppliers. So now we need to look at our customer mapping absolutely with a great deal of clarity, and figure out how am I going to get those customers back. First, my top 20% of your customers. And like I said, if you have not done your database management and not looked at the 80-20 model of customer management, please go and do it today. It will not take you much time. Please look at the top 20% of your customers and do that right now. Reach out to them and make those announcements. I'll come to those announcements shortly. Make those announcements for them that you are ready to do business with them. And then once you have addressed the top 20% of your customers, of those top 20% of your customers, look at that first responders who are responding to you, because these guys are the biggest risk takers. But even then, though they are biggest risk takers, they are also the guys with a certain degree of fear. And how are you going to address those fear? Then look at your existing customers, the other customers who are there, the balance 80% of your customers, and how can you send out a message to them that come try us out. Come try us out. We will do whatever it needs to take to ensure that there is satisfaction. There will be people who are ready to do business. What are you going to do? Try out, come try us out should be the new philosophy of your next 1 month. Because if you are not sending out that message, people will start questioning your sincerity of starting that business, your capability of starting that business all over again. So you've looked at your hygiene, you have looked at your team, given them the confidence that you care, given them the infrastructure so that they can operate with peace of mind, initially starting off with low productivity, going up to high productivity. Now you have looked at your customer, you have done your customer segmentation, you have reached out to your top 20% of your customers, you have created special deals for them as well as the first responders, and then gone out to the rest of your existing customers who could also be buying from your other competitors, and giving them the message, come try us out, which is going to be your now new philosophy. You also should look at your competitors and see how many of them have survived. How many of them have survived the way you have survived? You could be operating in different geographies. What are the situations there? How are you going to address? Right? All those 3 packages have to be in place now. We don't have any more time, but to do it now. Because once if you have not done it, please start today. If you have done it, now is the time to do the next bit level, which is your announcements. Please remember, we are also announcing a win over an extremely difficult situation that all of us have gone through. So we need to have a concrete plan and begin at once to put this plan in action. We have to build up this excitement. Everything needs to be announced. Remember the day when you were starting your business. Look at the announcements that you were doing then. Building up that excitement with every single day. Every single day was a new day for all of us. You're announcing it, that our office is getting prepared. We are uploading photographs. This is how the new office would look like. This is how our new manufacturing would look like. We now need to rethink on those levels and build up that excitement and start announcing every single step that we are doing. We have to build in all of this in our Marcom. Yes, there are challenges, or there could be situation where people would say that we are going overboard. So be it. So be it. I have been doing my sales and marketing programs for the last 2 weeks. I've been going and announcing to people, there will be brickbats. We are not perfect. There will be brickbats. But so be it. I need to build that excitement that the world is coming back to normal. It is a win over the stress. A pandemic which hit us end of March, and we did not know what would happen next. We could only see darkness in front of our eyes. And as business owners, we had to take the biggest burden of all of this, to take care of our families, to take care of our mental health, to take care of our customers, to take care of our employees, pay them salaries, take care of the expenses, take care of the fixed costs, manage our cash flows. You have done so much, and congratulations to all of you. A huge round of congratulations to all of you, because all of you have done it. But now it is announcement. Announce every step. Announce every team member. Every announced team member, go out and give them that importance, that Lily, I can't wait to see you coming and managing the front office. I can't wait to see you managing the telephone calls of your customers, with that enthusiastic smile of yours, with that great smile of yours, with a great attitude of yours. Announce to that guy, maybe Suresh, maybe, who brings tea for all of us, that Suresh, I can't wait to have tea from you. You have to raise that level of excitement within your team members. Please remember, they're coming to your workplace with fear. And you have to give them that excitement to come back to your workplace with a smile, and to hit the ground running, and to get into high levels of productivity as quickly as possible. Announce that Akhil, maybe somebody else, that Akhil, whenever you got those orders, you jumped around and celebrated in the office. I'm waiting to see that once again. Make them feel special. And it's not a one-off. Do it every single day. Do it everything. You have to show your excitement, because everything is all about bringing that confidence back, bringing that huge level of enthusiasm back within your team members. And when you're communicating this to the external world, your customers, who have also gone through difficult times, and all of us have gone through difficult times, the customer will also feel confident that here is an organization which is ready. Organization which is ready to restart. They're ready, they've taken care of everything to restart. And they would get that confidence back and wanting to business with you. Nobody, no customer at this point in time, at this juncture in life, would be willing to do a business with any business owner or any organization which shows fear and scare within themselves. Please take this statement very seriously. Nobody is going to be willing to do business with any business owner if that business owner is himself scared and uncertain about how to manage his office. If he's unable to manage his office and his team members, what can he manage for his customers? What can you manage? How can you manage exigencies? So your announcement is more from a building of an excitement amongst your team members. The fear has to slowly get subsided. We all have to learn to live with Corona. Corona is not going to leave us and go. Corona is here to stay till the medications come, till the vaccines come. We have to learn to live with Corona. We can't be wishing it away. But in the midst of all that, you have to build in that excitement. And once that gets part of your marketing, now look at how are you going to communicate that? How are you going to announce it? Go back and think, this is my first day of my rest of my life. This is the first day of when my business is restarting. This is the first day when I'm starting a new business maybe. Today, just think through, if you were to start a new business altogether, what would you do? Think through and do exactly what you think through that you would have done. Once the announcements have taken place, now it's time to do your celebrations. The celebrations will start once your people are back. So whatever you need to do, the ribbon cutting, the partying for a while, you have to do that. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Celebrate your surviving. Celebrate your customers. Write a message to your customers. Put it on the Facebook or a LinkedIn. Hey customer, I see you have reopened. Congratulations. Congratulations of reopening. You see your next door office starting. Send out a message to him. Congratulations. Do your celebrations. Celebrate everyone together. Everyone. Remember, we are celebrating life. Remember, we are celebrating life over death. Remember, we are celebrating survival. Remember, we are celebrating happiness. Remember, we are celebrating the end of the tunnel, not the light at the end of the tunnel, not the dark tunnel that we once saw, not the light at the end of the tunnel that we once saw. Now we are celebrating end of the tunnel. We are out of the tunnel. Take photographs with your customers if they are willing to do it. Whenever you meet them, or even on Zoom, take photographs with them and put it up. Put it up and tag them. Say, hey customer, thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying back for us. Thank you for allowing us to be doing what we are doing. There is no greater story than celebrating your competitors. Go out and celebrate your competitors. Competition is different. Competition is different. Competitors are human beings. They are you and me together. We are all there in this business together. Without them, life would be boring. So go out and celebrate with your competitors. Go and announce that your competitors have opened. Celebrate with your team. Let it be seen to the world that you're celebrating with team. Please take care of all your precautions. I'm not saying don't take care of your precautions. Take care of your PPE, take care of your physical distancing. And I'm not saying social distancing, because social distancing is over permanently. Your physical distancing will continue to stay. So your physical distancing, your barriers, see if there has to be barriers created between your team members. Do all that, but celebrate, make it memorable, make it newsworthy the first few days of your workplace. That celebration mood should be there. We have all become too somber. Today we are talking in terms of whether there will be a Ganesh Chaturthi, whether there will be a Diwali. Today was Eid. Today is Eid, and Eid has been celebrated on a very somber note. So we're talking in terms of Ganesh Chaturthi. We're talking in terms of Diwali. We're talking in terms of, as Bengalis, we're talking in terms of Durga Pujas. We're talking in terms of Christmas. We're saying, will these happen? But we, as individuals, we need to redo our celebrations. This is the beginning of your workplace. This is how your first few days should look like. Allow people to come in whatever in their national dresses. Celebrate. Celebrate, make it newsworthy, put it up your Facebook, put it up on your LinkedIn's, put it up on your Insta, put it everywhere, put it on your website, and let people see that not everything is somber. Not everything is somber. There is life. As long as there is life, there are reasons to celebrate. So look at this entire thing and say, how ready are we to do it? Because the next thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be extremely boring. Because celebrations have to end somewhere. And next thing what I'm going to talk about is going to be extremely boring. Because as a business owner, I need to know my numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Whichever client I'm talking to today, or whichever of my coaching client I'm talking to today, or whichever prospect I'm talking to today, and as a business coach, we run multiple programs, and I'll talk about them at the end of the session. But whoever I'm talking to today, I'm talking in terms of what are your numbers? I need to see your numbers, and I need to see them on a weekly basis because your numbers have changed. Your break-even will look very, very different. If not weekly, I would prefer to see it daily. Because every decision that you're going to make today, a business decision that you're going to make today, will either make something or cost something. And I don't want to get into a situation where it costs me unnecessarily. And people who have not attended my past webinars on how to manage your 3 aspects of your cash flow, please write into me on my WhatsApp and I'll share that with you. What are the 3 types of your cash flows? What are those 3 pathways for success? 3 runways for success: the runway for survival, the runway for revival, and the runway for growth. Please write to me on my emails, on my WhatsApp, and I'll share those links with you. Every decision that you take today, business decision that you take today, has to be very clearly thought through. Because if you're not thinking through, you may make a mistake that will probably push you back a few miles. So what are those decisions that you're doing? And as a business coach, for all my clients, I'm asking them, I want to see the numbers on a weekly basis, if not more often. What is going to be your break-evens? Because now you have to factor in break-evens, taking into account that you are going through still on the downswing, and that upswing will start somewhere in H2. So if your upswing will start in H2, I want you to look at your break-evens. I want you to look at your profit break-evens. How much cash do I need to make on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis to keep my head above water? Because those numbers have totally changed. The numbers that we have done with all my clients in the month of February, March are irrelevant. They have no meaning anymore. A lot of people have taken moratoriums for loan repayments. A lot of people have been able to get some working capital loans. How have you taken them? What are the implications of all of them? How is it going to impact your numbers? There's another proposal that has come in that your moratorium can be extended by 3 months. Should you do it? Should you not do it? It's a question of what if. What if I do it and what if I don't do it? Because this is money that is actually currently on a short-term basis very easily available. But is it going to hit me in the long run? What are the implications? So we have to look at those money that we have got easily how do I wisely use it? And hence, rerunning of these numbers is extremely critical. As we open up, there's also going to be a lot of uncertainty. And like I said, things will change on a weekly basis. So there will be uncertainty. There will be blind spots. There will be blinding things. So are you able to look at your blind areas? And like a lot of people have said, that sometimes we feel we can do everything by ourselves. The fact of the matter is we can't. So get external help. Now is a great time to take external help, because you need to make all those decisions correct. Your probability of your outcome has to be very high compared to what it was in February. You could afford to make mistakes. When businesses are going well, you could afford to make some mistakes. No longer. More cash in hand is still recommended and suggested. Please look at your costs. Look at where you're investing the money. Because everything that you spend has to make something. Where are you investing? And there we continue to propose, and I have all action coaches all over the world, and whenever people have listened to me, I've said, please don't lose focus of your marketing. I have seen so many emails when I've written to a few of my prospects. I've seen so many emails which has come with the auto response that because we are conforming to government regulations, our office is closed. We all know we are conforming to government regulations. That's why I'm working from home. Does it mean I give out a message to my customers that I'm not working and I don't care about you? You can't afford to do it. Your marketing has to be on top notch. And I'm not even suggesting that you go into expensive areas of marketing. Don't do SEO on your website. No problems. But are you doing marketing? Are you continuing to do your visibility? Are you reaching out to your customers? Are you speaking to them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or writing to them? So while cash in hand is still suggested, we need to look at where are we investing our money. We are investing our money, and this is where my recommendations are to my clients. We are investing in money in marketing. We are investing in money in cleanliness and hygiene, because my first couple of steps need to be taken care of. I'm investing money in taking care of bringing my customers back. That's all that I'm investing in. Do I need to get that recoat of paint? No. Do I need to get a new machine? No. Do I get my new car? No, I will not. Do I need to hire 5 more people? At this point in time, maybe not the right thing to do, because I still need my business to come up. But please, for heaven's sake, don't stop your marketing. And look at your auto responses going out, especially from your sales and marketing team. Because if your customers are going to get those auto responses, then it is not the great thing to do. Having looked at your numbers, now I want to spend some time of yours on the sales and marketing piece specifically. What are you going to communicate? Because the world has changed, people's motivations of buying have changed, the decision making has changed, and so your marketing message should change. Your sales strategies should change. It is no longer an outbound kind of sales. You will not be able to go and meet your customer in his office. You'll have restrictions on commute. You have a restriction on going and entering his workplace. You have a restriction on going and meeting him face to face. So your inbound has to be extremely strong. So what's the messaging going to be? And today it's a great time to sit back and look at my entire market and my method of marketing and look at my marketing plan. Most of us don't have a marketing plan. That's a fact of the matter. For most of us, the marketing plan is about 2 to 3 pages. But when I work with my clients, or when any of the action coaches work with the client, We have over 18 to 20 pages of marketing plan, which we have done with our clients. Today, I want all of you to look at that marketing plan, because the assumptions, the premises that you have made in the marketing plan has changed. A whole new SWOT analysis needs to be done, because your strengths could have changed, your weaknesses could have changed, but more than that, the external opportunities and threats have changed. Your competitors are no longer the same. They have changed over the last 90 days. So you need to look at from all aspects, from the customer aspect, from the competitor aspect, from your opportunity threat aspect, from your internal aspect. You may not have the money. You may have planned to do a lot of investment in your business, but today you don't want to do it. So your strengths could have changed. So please look at your marketing plan. Great time to relook at the marketing plan and do a zero-based marketing plan, not based on what you have done last year. It's a great time to do a zero-based marketing plan now. We have to research on what the competitors are doing and what they are not doing. How are they positioning their products? How are they looking at the entire market? How are they pricing the products? The entire landscape has changed, and along with the landscape, our marketing plan should change. So relook at the marketing plan, because this is going to be the most important element of your business going forward, and you cannot afford to make mistakes. The second is your messaging. Most of the times our messaging was in terms of the benefits our products or services gave. But now it is more in terms of the help and educate. How will it help and educate them more? So our entire marketing messages should be looked at from the help and educating more, from the help and gratitude more, because there is fear in the market and there's worry in the market. I don't think too many of your retail outlets would be putting up discounting. They would say that they would have to invest that money into taking care of your worries. So I think the discounting will not be there for some time. Like Amazon, they've made a huge amount of money. I think $10 million is what they've earned in profits in the last 90 days. But they've given away about 70% of that in reinvesting on the infrastructure, on the PPEs, on people, on redesigning their offices. So they've given it away. So the discountings will not be there. You have to look at your sales process again. Suppose in the past your sales process was 5 steps. Today it may take longer because of 2 reasons. One, you're not able to do the sales process that you were doing face to face and going and meeting the customer. So that methodology has changed. The second piece is that the customer is slightly hesitant in spending that additional money, because he's also relooking at his business and saying, can I or should I spend this money? Is it an investment or is it a cost? Is it making or is it taking? Because if it's taking, he may not want to do it. How are you communicating? Your videos have to become more prominent. Your testimonials have to come in. Because today people will be looking more at videos rather than your telephonic messages or Zoom messages. So your videos have to be strong. So what are you doing in your digital marketing? Your digital marketing has to strengthen. What are the blogs that you're writing? What are the videos that you're uploading? What are the testimonials that you're doing? And you're doing this entire thing from a customer-centric approach. How are you going to give him more knowledge and educate him on the things that you're selling, through your communications? If there was a pushy salesperson in the past who would go to the customer and say, please give me this order, and if that person had not died by now that person will certainly die. So if you're that, please get into retraining. Your sales processes will have to change. They should know what they are selling. So what are the benefits that they are selling and which will help help the customer? That empathy has to come in, that you understand, you feel for that customer. You are going to take care of him. This is an area that as a business owner, where you will really need to make in a lot of investment. Your entire selling and marketing has to be relooked at. How are you becoming more and more customer centric? How are you going and helping them more? But that can happen only if you have that database ready. So please go back and do that 20/80 databases. Please look at your relationships in that 80/20 databases and see how you can help them grow. Please remember, this is not an economic crisis. This is an economic transformation. We have leapfrogged 10 years ahead. We have digitized the processes faster than we really wanted to. Everything has changed. And we were not prepared for this change so quickly. So your entire sales team will have to upskill and upgrade themselves. In the past 60 days, I have looked at my database from my aspect. Right? I see a lot of people in this room who have already been part of that database. And I thank them for them. And if you're new here, I welcome you to the team. I welcome you. I know very well that today you may not be ready to buy. I understand. But my giving will not stop. My helping and wanting to educate you will not stop. Every week I'll continue to do a webinar and bringing in newer things that you can implement in your business. Because I believe if I'm able to build a relationship with you, one day business will come to me. So now you will have to look at this entire customer-centric approach from a longer time frame. It is no longer going to be what we used to do in the past in the month of November, December, even January, when we did seminars and we expected a few conversions there. Today it may not be such. We have to build that relationship. And you have to look at how you're building relationships. And people will tell you, if you interact with a lot of people in this room, they know that I tell them what my programs are at the end of the session, but there is no commitment, even for a free call, that you have to sign up. Nothing of that sort, because I understand that people are going through difficult times. As Action Coach globally, we have taken it on ourselves that for the month of April and May, we have given about 5 hours of pro bono coaching every week. We have done that because we believe that was the right thing to do. And for you, you have to believe that's the right thing to do because you have to move into your customer centricity. Look at your entire sales and marketing. Look at your entire planning, because these are areas that will drive you going forward. You cannot afford to make a mistake. Now, one single simple mistake will push you behind by miles. You have to look at that. Finally, step 8, we have to say thank you. We have to thank everybody, and we have to re-thank everybody. The team for being able to do what they have done at home. Customers, obviously, for staying back with us. Go back to your suppliers, go back to your bankers, the accountants who have helped you. Who have helped you do this. Go back and thank them. Handwritten notes make a big difference. I was talking to a coaching client of mine who have about 1,000 odd customers, and there were about 150 salespeople. We said every individual, every salesperson should send out 50 cards, 50, 75 cards to their customer. It has to go out. Because I need to thank people for being there. If possible, go out and thank the COVID warriors and use that. And unfortunately, please don't misunderstand me, but that's the reality of life. We are all salespeople first and individuals second. Create that as your marketing tool. Go and thank them. Go and give them some gifts for being able to do it. Your security guys of your building, do that. Your fellow business owners, do that. Sometime back, about 3-4 weeks back, I personally went into an extremely negative mindset. Extremely negative mindset. Worrying, anger, all those came in. And I spoke to my coach, and he says, Molloy, it is your problem. You need to go back into your period of gratitude. And that night when I was lying on my bed, I got this message and I said, I need to get out of this negativity and get into this thankfulness and gratitude. There's so many people literally on this planet who are worse than me. So what is it that is bothering me so much? Yes, things are tough. Yes, as business owners, we have tough situations and we are probably the most stressed out people. But that doesn't give me a reason to let go of my mental balance. And as a thank you to all of you for who have come in, and my regular participants in the webinar, thank you for being there. Because without you, we are nobody. So thank you for being there. Please remember that thank you is no longer good manners. Thank you, spirituality. And the best thank you that you can give is to your fellow business owners. Go and congratulate them and thank them for surviving the difficult times. This is how your businesses follow. So as we are moving towards the reopening, this is how your businesses follow. And this graph has been picked up from our action coach, where they look at the January, December. So we went into Q4 of last year with a great deal of excitement. We started Q4 of last year all over the world. We went into a great deal of excitement. But suddenly things started plunging. Please keep the questions coming, and I see the questions and I'll address them as soon as we are done, another 10 minutes. And it started dumping. We went into April absolutely down in the dumps. As we get into end of this quarter, which is Q1 for all of us in businesses in India, we are looking at coming out of the survival path. And I've said this in the past as well, that during the survival period, you should have had a 90-day going into the lockdown and a 90-day out plan, lockdown out plan. So I do not know how many of you have your 90-day in plan, but now you need to have your 90-day out plan, which is your next quarter, the July, August, September quarter, because this is where you're going to ramp up your business. So if you have not been able to do that 90-day plan, get hold of your action coach, whoever he is around you in your city, and go and do it. Go and do the 90-day out plan. Please don't make a mistake. Please think through everything that you are doing right now. Your decision making has to have a lot of WhatsApp. And during this decision making, you have to think through that I have always done a cash flow. And I need to do a cash flow again. Because whatever I do now, I need to be in full speed. I need to be in full speed going into Q3 of this fiscal and going through the roof in Q4 of this fiscal. So I've always done a cash flow. Today I have to redo my marketing plan and my cash flow. Would it make sense getting external help? If you are looking at the planning phase, again, the recruitment planning phase, we have always hired in a particular way. And many times for most of our businesses, the hiring process has not been the most adept. So can you now get into a more professional hiring with positional contract and so on and so forth? How would you get into lead generation and lead conversion in exponential fashion. We may have 2 or 3 lead generation strategies. We may have 2 or 3 lead conversion strategies, and some other strategies that we use. Will it make sense to get into somebody who will have 300 plus strategies coming in? Please understand that if I have to get into Q3 of this fiscal and Q4 of this fiscal, you cannot sow the same seeds that you have done for so many years and expect a different result. Your sowing has to be different. This is the trajectory that your business has to take. If your business doesn't take this trajectory of the red line, if it doesn't take the trajectory of your red line, then please understand that there may not be a red line going into fiscal of 2022. So what do you need to do now? What are your actions that you need to take? You need to rewrite your plan. You need to rewrite your business plan, because like Kevin Donaldson says, a business without a business plan is going on a mountain trek without your GPS. You will eventually get lost and starve. So if a lot of business owners have done businesses without a business plan, but now it's not the right time to do it. So get a business plan done. You should have had a 90-day game plan for survival. If you have not done, at least do the 90-day game plan for thriving, because your reopening is going to be way, way harder than closing. It's going to be way, way harder than closing, and we can't afford simple mistakes. We can't afford to make any simple mistakes, because like I keep on saying, one mistake can put you back by a mile or maybe multiple miles. And while you're doing all this, you also have to be particularly careful that we still don't have 100% visibility of how the future is going to pan out. If it was economic crisis, we would know that GDP is going up and so on and so forth is going up. You still have to keep the negatives in mind. You have to factor in certain amount of the negatives. You certainly have to factor in all the positives. You'll have to have all those negatives in mind, and get help. Please understand, at this point in time, you may not be in a position to do it all by yourself. So get help. So rewrite everything, get a new set of plans in place as you jump into your thriving and growing phase. Your path to opportunities ahead, for most of the businesses that we are talking to, they're either in the warm-up phase or they're in the sprinting phase. Some of our businesses have already gone into the sprinting phase. But I mean, our businesses, the businesses that I coach, all my 3 businesses are in the warm-up phase at different levels of warm-up. My infection control is at the fag end of the warm-up. It's about to sprint. My food business is warming up and it's about to sprint. The hiring business is at that cusp between at the beginning of the warm-up phase, because hiring will be tough going forward, and we will have to relook at our entire day. So please look at where you are. My consulting coaching is already in the sprint phase. So we have been sprinting for the last couple of weeks. We have taken that on, and a lot of businesses have come to us. So it all depends on where your business is. Some businesses continue to be in the training phase, like probably restaurants and hospitality will be in the training phase. You cannot do too much. You will have to keep on retraining your staff and looking at your reduction of your costs. So you cannot do too much. But most of the businesses are in the warm up. So now we need to be mentally prepared for that sprint, and we need to sprint. And as we get into sprinting mode, if it needs 180 days of sprinting, we need to do that 180 days of sprinting. There's no point letting it go. So we don't know whether it's a sprinting for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, but that sprinting has to happen. Because finally, when that sprint phase is over, which we strongly believe is end of calendar year 2020 or at the most fiscal 2021, the world will be a different place. The new normal will be different. And there you will compete and grow. And that period, if you have done all those levels well in the past, will be much, much bigger and much, much larger than what it was, what you left behind in February of 2020. So what you need to do, you need to get your mindsets in place. You need to start preparing yourself mentally for that sprint phase. If necessary, in one of my businesses, the infection control, we have told people to go on leave right now, paid leave, because this year is going to be different. It may be Diwali, it may be Christmas, it may be Dussehra, but I don't think second half of the year, H2 of the year, I'll be in a position to give leave to any employee, because all of us are in sprinting phase, and people will have to understand that. And we have to communicate that to people, that if you want to take leave, please take leave now. There's no leave encashment. Sorry, there's no leave encashment. There's no leave carry forward. If you want to take leave, take leave now, as we are still in the warm-up phase. But once we are in that sprint phase, from June onwards, at the most from August onwards, there's no scope for leave. So you have to look at all this. Some tough decisions need to be taken, but taken in conjunction with the people in place. You have to communicate to them, because once the sprint comes, we need to have that energy, clarity, focus, commitment, and ownership. And that will come in only if our 90-day plan is in place, only if our employees' motivations are in place, and the hygienes are in place, the customers are in place, my marketing plans are in place, my sales and marketing has been looked at. Because only then that will come in. We have to lead from the front. New marketing activities have to be done. Everything that we do has to be tested and measured. And that's where, when you get into the compete and grow mode, it will be a fun place. It will be a real fun place, because you will be making far more money. You'll be making far more money and far more business than what you were doing till February 2020. This world will be different. This will be a land of opportunities for all of us. So as I'm finishing up for this, before we jump into the second section, get with your action coach if you have one, or connect with me, and let's get your 90-day plan. What are those 5 ideas that you need to take action today? What are those next steps? What will you start doing today? What will you stop doing today, from today onwards? What are those 5 things you will stop doing from today onwards? And what are those 5 things that you're doing that you will do more of? And the follow-ups that we will all do. How can we help you? We will help you through a 6-step process. And people who have been part of my webinars in the past know this, because we have run 2-hour webinars on this. Today we'll not run a 2-hour webinar. Anyone who's interested, I can do a one-to-one with that person or in a group. What we need to look at is the 6 steps of giving you a business which is in autopilot mode. And the first step is on the mastery space, where we look at how do you build a commercial enterprise, because most of us are running a business, but we are running more in that firefighting mode. We are more in terms of trying to manage customers, people, business all put together. So we are not that real commercial autopilot mode. So 4 things that we look at. We look at, first is your money mastery. How do you improve your cash flow without increasing sales? And there are methods that we do with. What is your destination mastery? Where do you see your business 3 years from now? What were your personal goals that you had when you set up the business? What is the alignment of those personal and professional goals? How relevant are those personal goals even now? What are you doing with those personal goals? Are they on the verge of getting fulfilled? Today, can you let go of your business? Or not today, because you're in the transformation phase, but think about it, that as of 1st April 2021, can you take a 6-month holiday, go to Bahamas without your computer, without your phone, and come back after 6 months and find a roaring business for yourself? If not, then there's something wrong in your destination mastery and your money mastery. Why you can be an extremely profitable organization, but you can be a cash flow deficient organization. So how do you manage that? How do you improve your cash flows without compromising on your profitability and without having to go out and sell more? Because in most cases, if you're in that space where you are an organization which is highly profitable, but not having enough cash flow, the more you sell, the more the cash flow requirement would be, because you're not managing your money. Your money mastery in your system is lacking. So we need to bring the business owners back into thinking about numbers in the business, because most business owners are great champions of technical knowledge, great champions of passion, but very weak as far as numbers are concerned. How do you manage time? Where is your time going? Because we want you to run a business where you're not working on the business, but we don't want you to work in the business, but we want you to work on the business. We don't want you to become a firefighter. We don't want people to say that unless the boss comes, there is no decision that can be made. So we want you to be going to your workplace out of choice, but the business should run on autopilot mode. Tomorrow, you don't want to do that business. You want to start something else. This should be a source of passive income. This should not be a drain on your energy. So you need to look at your time. We want you to work on the business rather than in the business, and looking at the delivery. How many of us have 100% confidence that our customers are happy with the delivery that we are doing? On time, but as per specifications, delivery. Most of us are unable to do it, and there's a lot of customer complaint. And it is said that customers walk away when they don't get the receptiveness. So we look at all that, and then we come to creating a profitable organization, which we call niche. And for us, niche is your unique selling proposition and guarantee. If it's someone like a Domino's can have a unique selling proposition of a 30-minute delivery and a guarantee associated with it, it means that any business or every business should have it. But we, in our mind, we are unable to do it. We feel we are in that commodity space, we are in that Me Too space where we are selling equivalent products. Domino's sell equivalent products as well. They sell pizzas, something that a customer can make at home. But whenever the word pizza comes into my mind, the first top of mind recall is Domino's. So how do we take you to the top of mind recall of your customer is to creating that unique selling proposition, to creating that ASA, the articulated sales response. How do you do that? And what is the guarantees that we do? We have a formula, we use a formula that if your guarantees go up, if you give guarantees, obviously your leads should go up. If your leads should go up, your GP should increase. But even if there's a cost of guarantee, because some percentage of your cost of your money would go into satisfying the guarantees, what is the break-even of your guarantee? And in most cases, we have seen that guarantees don't exceed 5%. We have been giving guarantees for last 12 years in India as a business coach. We give a guarantee that 17 weeks is what we guarantee. In 17 weeks, if you don't get result, we will coach you for the rest of the year free of cost. But there's hardly been a 1% guarantee requirement. So we need to calculate that break-even guarantee, that at what break-even guarantee you're no longer making the additional profit. And how do we stay below that break-even guarantee so that we make more money? So we have an 18-page questionnaire on how to create an USP, and with that, the guarantee propositions have to come in. And through a formula, through an Excel sheet formula, that we need to figure out the guarantees. Most customers know that most of the business owners know their customers, their profits, their revenues, and their profits. But as action coach, we believe that the ones in red, that is customers, revenue, and profit, are the least of the important things for your business. What are those 5 things that we work? From where are your leads getting generated? How are you measuring your MROIs? Are you getting conversions? Are you measuring them? What are the number of transactions that you're doing per customer? How do you increase the number of transactions? Is your sales team equipped to go out and sell to the customer all the products that he has? Does your customer know all the products that you have in your portfolio? Are you communicating to your customers once every 90 days? And I give this example about a client of mine who's a real estate agent. And this real estate agent says, why should I write to my customers? Because my customer buys from me once every 7 years. I said, okay, let it be 7 years. What's the money that you make? He says 2.5 crores is property pricing, and I make about 1.5 to 2%. I said, fantastic, great. Now, if you were to write to your customer once in 90 days, what will be the total expense over the 7-year period? He says 200 to 250 rupees. I said, fantastic, 1,000 rupees per year. 7,000 rupees for 7 years. Is 7,000 rupees enough of a investment to make to get that 1.5% of the 2 crore? Think about it. We spend so much time acquiring a customer, but then we forget that customer and we chase after somebody else. And today, for whoever is writing back to me, I'll share with you an Harvard Business Review article, how our entire focus should be first taking care of our existing customers. And how do we increase the number of transactions from him? Some may buy from me once, some may buy from me 10 times. But how do we increase the number of transactions? How do you increase average dollar sale? Go to a McDonald's, they are increasing average dollar sale with every transaction. You go for a burger, and this lady is standing with her hands folded and says, what else can I give you? Can I give you a packet of chips? Can I give you a coffee? Can I give you a shake? Can I give you what? And when I was talking to one of those center heads, I asked him, how many, you do this dollar sale, you do this pushing of a product, what's the conversion rate? He says a 30 to 40% convert. And when 30 to 40% convert, they buy more. Okay, I said, what percentage? They said the bills are double. So I'm not talking in terms of 30%. I'm asking you, can you do a 10% increase? And any chartered accountant sitting in this room, and I know there are quite a few chartered accountants here, they will tell you when your business goes up without investing too much on fixed costs, your profit margins have to go up. And when I work with you, all these rates can go up significantly higher, but we are talking in terms of just 10%. Because we have 80 strategies for conversion. Not everything will work for you. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5, but we want 10. We want 10 we want 10 lead generation strategies. We have 72 conversion rate strategies. People who are doing the sales coaching program with me, which is ending next week, they know that there are 60 odd strategies. There are 60 odd strategies for how to increase the number of transactions. There are 60 odd strategies for increasing the number of dollar sale, and the 50 odd, 60 odd, 70 odd strategies for profit margin. We have excess of 320 strategies to help you increase those numbers. Now, but even without looking at significant numbers, and I know you can do significantly more, if not in all aspects, in a few aspects, but if you just increase everything by 10%, everything by 10%, not conversion rate 25 to 35, but 25 to 27.5. Your strategies, my strategies, all put together, we do that. This is simple mathematics, and marketing is always simple mathematics. We confuse marketing with something extraordinary. It's at end of the day mathematics. So if you increase your number of leads by 10%, conversion rate by 10%, number of transactions by 10%, average dollar sale by 10%, your revenue should increase by 10% automatically. Automatically. But the accountants will tell you it's a power of multiplication. It doesn't increase by 10%. It increased by a whopping 46%. These are numbers, mathematical numbers. You can take your calculator and calculate. And if the profit margins go up by the same 10%, your profits go up by a whopping 61%. Where are we in our businesses? What is stopping us from getting these kind of numbers by focusing on the right areas? Because we tend to focus on the wrong areas. So just imagine if it's 5%, it will go up by about 20 and 30%, which is also great. And going forward in fiscal 2022, if this were to go up by 25, 30%, look at where your numbers will go. So this is where we bring in the niche and give you that cash. Because without money in pocket, no businesses can run. And very few of us have a predictable cash flow for the next 12 months. Very few of us have a rolling 12-month cash flow statement. Very few of us have a balance sheet which is updated on a monthly basis. Very few of us have a P&L which is updated on a monthly basis. Even if it's done, it's with the accountant. The business owner doesn't see it. For the business owner, it's more looking at the passbook and saying, okay, I have so much money in my business. That's not how a business needs to run. So once we have cash in hand, then we say, how do you build in systems? Because now I need a system that works, an automated system that works. And leverage is all about saving yourself stress, time, energy, and money. So we have a 9-step process for bringing in the systems in your place. And this cannot be done if you have no money. And a lot of businesses make the mistake that they get into setting up of a system without having a predictable cash flow, and they fall flat on their face. So the 9 steps, the vision, the mission, the culture statements. What is the culture statement? And I ask all business owners, and they look at my face blankly. I say, what is the rules of the business that you would want to play your business by? We have a 14-point culture statement. Now, this culture statement is nothing right or wrong. It is the business owners who have to come in and tell us what is that culture statement. What are the goals that you're setting for your business? How will your business look like when your organization structure is complete? What are the contracts with each individual? What are they doing in their workplace? Because most people come and take the full money for just coming to the workplace. What are the results what are the actions that they will take, and what are the results that they will get? No one is writing them down. So there's no positional contract. So when you're today relooking at your team, are you looking at positional contracts, or are you going back and hiring with that same old method? What are we doing? Right? So this is where action comes in and helps you. And once you have this positional contract, what are those key performance indicators of each individual? Everyone needs to never do something in business that we can't measure. I don't want people in the system who either doesn't get me a customer or doesn't help me service a customer. Everyone else in that business is redundant. So we need to figure out a way that how do we make them accountable for customer? Because we are surviving in that business. We are in the business for customers. You can go to Amazon and buy these books. There are about 10, 12 books written by Brad Sugars, the founder of Action Coach. You can read them. Once you get the KPIs in place, get the SOPs in place. So everybody knows how a system works. Today, you need to change your SOPs totally. You may have had an SOP, but those SOPs need to change significantly. And once all these 8 things are done, now go and play golf. Go for a horse ride. Go and take a holiday, because you know that every week your MIS would come to you and you would get the numbers of your business. Till today, you are running a business like you're driving a car without a dashboard. The dashboard is all missing. And because the dashboard is missing, you don't know at what speed you are going. You do not know how much fuel you have in your car. You do not know what distances you will travel to. We are bringing in the dashboard into the system. So wherever you are, you'll be able to look at that dashboard and say, this is the direction that my business is going, and these are the corrections that I need to bring in. Then you bring in the team. Don't get a team before these are all done. You need your junior team, but now you're getting in a team who would work for you, who would replace you. Because I want a business now which works without you. You should be there. You will be part of the business, but the business should not be depending on you. So if you're doing your break-even analysis, check whether you have put in your costs into your salaries into the costs. Because without that break-even is not the right break-even. Margins, look at the margins. Does the margins have your costs associated with it? Because today, if it doesn't have, and 6 months later you're getting in a CEO, your costs have to go. His costs have to get into the margin, and your margin will go all over the place. So today, probably you're at 20% margin. You get 12% margin if the costs come in. So how do you build the team? Because as a coach, I help you build the team. And statistics and reports have said that the relationship between the owner and the team is directly proportional to the relationship between the team and the customer. So the more you take care of the team, the more the team will take care of your customer. And the more the customer gets importance, the more he will take care of your business by referring it to somebody else and helping them. And once the customer takes care of the business automatically takes care of you. So my job as a coach for all my businesses is to help you take care of your team. That's where we bring in the right people on the bus. Because that's winning team. We don't want any XYZ in the bus. We want the right people in the bus. And finally, once we have done all that, now I have given you freedom. So look at now the period that you're running from now. Now you're doing all those hygiene issues. You're looking at your customers. You're looking at your team. You're building in your marketing plan. You're doing all that. But when you have done all that together with me, you can either do it independently and still continue to do whatever we have done exceptionally well till now. But if you were to work together, we will get into a situation where I give you freedom. I give you freedom from your current in the business role. I give you freedom to now work on the business. Now look at duplication. Now look at setting up other businesses. Now look at expanding it in other geographies. Otherwise, you will continue to be in that team, in that business throughout. Global statistics have said today, currently, last 5 years, that only 30% of businesses are getting into the next generation. Global statistics. And India, it may change. India, it may be 50, 60%. But the challenges still remain that is a family member ready to take on your business going forward, or should you make it into a self-independent body and you remaining as management? Sorry, you remaining as owner, management remaining separate to drive that business. Quoting Richard Branson, if you learn to run one business successfully, then there's no reason why you can't run any number of businesses at the same time. The principles are the same. Question is, do we know how to run one business successfully from an autopilot mode? With all due respects to every business owner, they all know how to run their business. But from an autopilot mode, do you know how to run a business? Can you go for a 6-month holiday? So as Action Coach, we offer multiple programs. So our core offerings are in business transformation through the 6 steps that I've just taken you through is the one-to-one business coaching for large business owners. And for smaller business owners, we get into into group coaching because they can't afford to do the longer programs. So the one-to-one works for 1 session a week for 48 weeks. There's a goal settings, and every week there is a goal setting. There's every week there is a plan. So we start with a 365-day plan. We break it down into 4 90-day plans. Each 90-day plan should have 5 to 6 achievable strategies. We work on them and we achieve our goals. Similar with the business owners, but we also understand that not all business owners at this point in time are ready for the full level program, but we sincerely hope they are, because it's going to really create that transformation. So we have short curated programs as well for self-management, where we're talking more in terms of the destination mastery and the chaos to control piece. We look at 1 session per week for 4 weeks. We also look at separate program on cash flow. How can we help you improve your cash flows by looking at various numbers in your system and how we can improve them. Sales management, which we are already running, which we're completing the course as of 30th of May, 4 program, 1 session per week for 4 weeks. Look at the entire sales and marketing bit, starting from marketing plan. And then we look at the team management, where we look at the hiring, organization structure, KRAs, etc. Again, 1 session per week for 4 weeks. Each of these four programs from June onwards will be structured in 2 group sessions and 2 one-to-one sessions with each individual business owner, or where they have their individual challenges to look at. Then we have, as a starting point, we do the goal setting and alignment. Like I said, the destination mastery. Where are you on that goal setting and the alignment? So it is typically for all business, all the one-to-one coaching. We do this session complimentary for them, but some people at this point in time may say, I just want to get the alignment between the business owners, and especially it works if there are multiple family members in that same business. So 1 session for 4 hours that we do. If that has to be taken to the leadership team, so we do an alignment training for the leadership team. So it is a 1-day, 8-hour program. And then we are also started doing the 90-day business planning program for business owners. That how do you create that 90-day plan? So it's a 2-day program that we run and help you create that 90-day plan, which is all the short curated programs. As uh, Tiger Woods says, no matter how tough we think we are, we can't do everything on our own. That's him. So we are different. So we also have to look at ourselves and see what we can do. So now it's a time to get into action. And thank you very much for your time. Let's go to the questions. So whatever questions we have, I'm happy this sharing with them. So let's look at the questions. Okay. First 3 slides, certainly. I will send. No words can be seen. So I'm sorry, no words can be seen, Rakesh, because it is to do probably at your end. I'll share the presentation with you, Rakesh. I'll share the entire presentation with you, Laksh, and we can do that. Yes, yes, whoever is that with Apple phone, great to do the SWOT again, and because the entire environment has changed. He has also said that we are located in Nariman Point, so can you suggest a checklist to decide who to call to office with a 33% rule? I would at this point in time, break entire team into 2 groups of people. One is your core 3 or 4 people, depending on how your business is structured. There has to be a core, and on that core, I would want everybody to be there in that organization at every point in time. On the rest, who is not core, I would look at distance as a parameter. And then we can look at that. So people who are the farthest, I would look at them as staying aside, but your core has to be there. So there is no compromise. So if your entire 33% comprises of only the core or of your business, so be it. Let them be there, because they are your A team. So at any point in time you would want to reach out to me, please feel free to reach out to me. Yes, we can do an emotional balance sheet for your organization. It would be great to do that, right? Bala, yes, I will send it, certainly. Please send me, or please connect with me on my email ID so that I remember to send it to you. So I will send to everyone my phone numbers on WhatsApp and my email IDs, and I will share the presentations and the recording, along with the presentation, the recording as well. So you can run through the recording, and any queries that you have, you can reach out to me. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do that. I have your email ID. So yes, if you are, okay, there's a question that comes in. I am in the jewelry distribution business. What should I do? You have to go direct. That's the only thing that you have to do. You go direct and direct to your customers, because direct selling is here to stay. You'll have to figure out how do you go direct, because going through the channel of the jewelry store will only cause you more confusion as far as cash flow is concerned. Any other question that I can address? And I'm happy to address. Should we give discounts? I would not give discounts at this point in time. No, discounting is not the right way of going forward. You're better suited to look at how you can manage giving value propositions and communication and advice and education to your customers, rather than on discounting. Should you sack a certain number of the team members? Yes, if I were you, I would look at the business. We should have done that. So people who have been with me, we have already done that. We have segregated the team members into 10, 70, 20. 10, 70, 20. 10 is my core. Like I mentioned to this gentleman, that 10 is my core. That is my core. I cannot let go of them. They are my A team. Now the bottom 20 is unfortunately my dispensable. I can let go of them. Push comes to a shove. If I need to look at my business, I can let go of them. Yes, it may not be right, it may not be proper, but my segregation has told them that they're the least effective in my organization. So in any case, they're in the bottom 20. Now if push comes to a shove further, the middle 70 will have to be will have to be split between top 35 and bottom 35. The top 35 is your B team, so they have to be there. You cannot let them go. The bottom is your C team, so they have to be either motivated or they have to go. So they have to change. People have to change. People have to understand that things are no longer the same. So doing that 10, 70, 20 model of your people is key to your success, because at some point in time, you may need to relook at your entire manpower structure. And you may need to look at replacement, because the same kind of competencies may not work. So you'll have to look at that. So you'll have to look at those entire piece together. Sales and marketing, without doubt, the biggest focus is on marketing. And look at your digital media audit, look at your website, look at upgrading of your website, look at unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of us had a website, and these are static websites where things have not changed for months or years together. Now your customer is going to come back to your website again and again. So he cannot see the same imagery and the same content. So your website needs to be updated on a regular basis. You cannot have the same imagery and the content. So it may not be on a weekly basis, it may not be on a daily basis, but on a monthly, your imagery needs to change. Your content needs to be updated, right? The same content that we use for our blogs or your videos can be swapped. So whatever you have done in your video can be converted into a blog and uploaded on the website, uploaded on LinkedIn, uploaded on Facebook, uploaded on Twitter, uploaded on Insta. 4 areas that today you have to be there. Your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Insta, and your Twitter. You have to be there. You have to keep on updating yourself. You do not know where your customer is looking for you. You do not know when your customer is looking for you. So you have to be present always. Remember, we are all salespeople. We may be business owners, but first we are salespeople. So we have to constantly do that. So videos are important. And a lot of people have told me that we can't make high quality videos. Irrespective of the quality of the video, this computer and this recording is good enough as a video. Please do that. So record in front of your computer and keep on uploading. Your content need not be more than 3, 4, 5 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. It need not run into hours. And as it is, you should not. Don't have any videos which is more than 5 minutes. You can always split your content into smaller segments and say, this is how my content is spread. So please do your digital media. Please look at your database. Please look at your reaching out to your customers in every 90 days, because they need that importance. Your customers need that importance. All of us need that importance. So that's what I have to share today. If there's anything else, any other questions that comes up. 80% of your employees left for their hometown, not if they're sure they will return. So how long do you think you will take to sprint? You will have to change your customer base. You have to change your employee base. You have to look at today, relook at your business totally and say, for the current level of business, what kind of employees do I require? You need to be ready to sprint from the month of July. We cannot be below the line. I did not share that slide with you because I thought it was becoming too much. There's a slide that we constantly talk about is below the line and above the line. Below the line is when we have blames, excuses, denial, which is acronym is BED. We can have thousands of beds, but that is not going to take us anywhere. We have to look at OR, which is above the line. OR standing for ownership, accountability, responsibility. I need to look at that. If I need to start my business sprinting from July and getting into a huge level of sprint from October, what are the kinds of people that I require? And how do I get them back? If they can't get them back, how do I hire people? I have to make it happen. You may not have your 100% team members in your workplace by July, August. That's okay. But for your current level of business that you're looking at, what's the level of employee that you have, and from where do you find them? Whatever it is, You have to get them back. The latest that you can do is plus H2. Your H2 would have to be significantly better than your H1. And for that, you have to look at your employees, look at your hygiene, look at your customers, look at your plants, to look at all that. Varun, I will share the slides with you later because I cannot go back into the slides again. So please, Mr. Laksh, you have to look at that. You have to look at how do I get my people in place? What are the competencies that I require? You're so welcome, Mr. Laksh. Any point in time, happy to speak with you. And if I mistake not, you have a Nigeria connection and I have a Nigeria connection as well. If you're the same person, I may be mistaken. Any other question that I can address? Any other question that I can address? Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Laksh. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All those thank you messages coming up. Kali Charan, thank you very much. So if there are no other questions, thank you again. You have been champion business owners. My heart is congratulations to all of you for having sustained this downturn. And having sustained this downturn, there is no reason why you champion business owners can not get into the next level of business. And I wish you all the best. May you do well. And I'm sure you will do phenomenally well. And I am sure if you follow this process, well, there's no reason why February 2021 will not be significantly better than February 2020. India 2.0 is going to be phenomenal. It's all up to us. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. To all who are here, please send me an email. Please send me a message and I will share with you this recording and the presentation. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, and take care of your team. Look forward to seeing you soon.